Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Create Your Own Reality podcast, where we share stories and practical tips to help you level up your mindset, reconnect with your purpose, and boost your confidence. If this is your first time listening to the show, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're able to take something from this episode to turn your day from good to great. Let's get into it. It's so important to trust divine timing. Whether you're more of a spiritual person or more of a religious person, I think this falls into both of those categories. So what I mean by this is it's so important to know that wherever you are in your current moment, in your present, in the right now, that is where you're destined to be. Whether that point is the most glorious point that you're living in your life right now, or it may be the low point in your life. But it's so important to trust that that is exactly where you're meant to be right now. It doesn't mean that you're going to be there forever. It does not mean that that is where you're going to end up. Okay, so definitely just be mindful of that as I say this. It was so crazy because, again, this week I was talking to my friend, the same friend that I mentioned last week. I was in my car driving home from work and I called her up because it's always nice to have somebody to chat to when you're in the car, especially when you have a long drive ahead of you. And she was telling me a story about how this Uber driver that she had always sees a specific angel number. I want to say it was 999 that she mentioned he had said that he sees all the time, but I'm not 100% sure. But it was crazy because when she first mentioned that story to me, I had seen a license plate right next to me that had 222. And I was like, oh, okay, that's funny. Like, I just saw 222, right? Not the same angel number, but an angel number nonetheless. And so, just keep going on. She was finishing her story. We were just catching up. And I was just kind of, I don't want to say ranting. Ranting's not the right word, but just talking to a friend as you would. I was just telling her about how I've been really feeling behind in my life right now in just all areas. First with our Pilates program that we're working on finishing, and just in all my other endeavors. As I'm sure you guys are familiar, as a very multi-passionate person, I am constantly working on multiple things at once, which keeps my brain going, keeps everything fun for me and exciting and just, always having something to look forward to. However, when you already have a limited amount of time, it can easily get really stressful when you're working on so many things at the same time. So I was just kind of telling her, even though I'm in a much better place today in my present than I was last year at this time or even a few months ago, I just still feel like, of course, I'm not at the point that I want to be at yet. And, if you're an ambitious person, I think it's so easy to get caught up in the fact that you're always going to want more, right? Even when you eventually hit that goal that you've set for yourself, you're going to be like, amazing, oh my gosh, yes, I finally hit that goal. But then your mind is immediately going to go into that spiral of, okay, but what's next? And I know I've been at those points before, and now with these new goals and things that I'm trying to achieve, I know I'm going to run into that same, I don't want to say problem, but I know I'm going to run into that same situation when that time comes again. So I'm just trying to be really mindful right now of just remembering this point that I'm at and just the goals that I want to hit moving forward. And yeah, so I was just talking to my friend about, how, again, I just feel so behind on achieving all of those goals. And some days I just don't even feel like I'm moving in the right direction. And she was just telling me, that it's, of course, so important to just pray more and talk to God and just trust that, again, that you are in the right place. The divine timing is right for where you are right now. And as we were having this conversation, it was so crazy because I saw yet again another license plate that had 222 on it. And I told her again, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I just saw another license plate that had 222. And she was like, okay, like we need to look this up. Like, what does that one mean, right? And sure enough, 222 is literally just about balance, faith, having, like, being in the perfect time, being in the, like, trusting in the divine timing that you're in the perfect time for you right now. And it was just so mind-blowing in that moment because I was like, whoa, like, that's literally exactly what we were talking about. Like, again, angel numbers and just being in the right time for yourself, even if it's not exactly where you want to be. And I was like, shoot, okay, like, I can't really argue with that. I mean, I am both, I guess I would say both religious and spiritual. Of course, angel numbers aren't really a part of religion, and that's just more of a spiritual thing. So having the two of those things kind of, intersect and line up in that moment was just really mind-blowing for me. And yeah, I mean, I think with all of that, again, the important part is, yes, to trust in the divine timing, but also just know that you really do have control of yourself and your life and your goals and where you want to go moving forward, right? So whether or not you feel that you're on the right path in this current moment, you have the ability to change that, right? And I know time management may not always be easy for all of us, especially if you're working a full-time job, if you have a lot of responsibilities at home. Everybody's situation is, of course, going to look different from the next person's. But I heard something that Mel Robbins shared on one of her previous podcast episodes recently, and it was basically about like having 15 minutes, whether that be in your day or even throughout your week, to work towards your goal. And I think that was a brilliant idea, just being able to have that power of 15 minutes to start off with. That'll build that framework for you to then work off of as you continue to work on that goal moving forward. Because as I'm sure some of you already know, sometimes the most difficult part is just getting started. So if you take those 15 minutes a day or even a couple times throughout your week to just get that framework set up for you about starting that goal and getting into the groove of it, it will really only make it easier for you moving forward as you start to achieve that goal more and more and more. So yeah, that is really what I wanted to share with you guys this week. Again, just the importance of trusting in the divine timing, but also trusting in yourself, right? We can't move forward in any way, shape, or form, especially towards moving towards our goals, if we don't trust in ourselves and in our own ability. So I encourage you guys to just take some time today as you're listening to this, right after you're listening to this, to just take a few minutes and pause, right? Just reflect on where you are in this current moment, maybe the big goal that you have for yourself for this year, and just jot a couple things down on how you can actively change what you're doing right now to help get you closer to that goal by the end of the year. It could be small things you can implement on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, or even a monthly basis. But even just making a note of those small things will really help you begin to implement them slowly into your routine. That way will help you get you closer to your goal. I hope this helped you guys out today. Please share your thoughts down in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. And until next time, have a great one. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you liked this episode, please be sure to leave a review and share it with a friend. Comment down below to share your takeaways with others and join the email list from the link in the show notes. Until next time, stay motivated, be inspired, and don't forget to encourage others.